Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of the second episode of Combat Arms In Depth. My name is Agent Psycho, aka Toby Sniper 98, and I will be once again your host for this episode. And in this episode, we're going to be finishing up the rest of the game modes that we didn't yet cover, discussing from the first part of this episode. Also, we will also go in a little bit in depth with the different arms restrictions that are available when you make your own room. So, let's finish this. One Man Army is the classic free-for-all game mode in Combat Arms. By far, the most popular OMA map is Junk Fleet, as it is the smallest map Combat Arms has to offer. Its startup restrictions are very lenient, like eliminations, which is just one other person who must be ready to start the game. The room host can choose between 15 kill, 30 kill, and 45 kill free-for-all games, or One Man Army games in this case. When spawning in, you will receive a weird kind of spawn shield. You will only enjoy the benefits of the spawn shield as long as you do not attack. Many people just do not understand that your spawn shield immediately expires once you attack. This even includes priming a grenade. Once your character shoots, knifes, or pulls a pin on the grenade, your shield is non-existent and enemies can gun you down. This is not a bug or a glitch, it is simply part of the game. Otherwise, people with spawn shield can have 3 seconds to massacre everyone, and we wouldn't want that now, would we? Quarantine Regen is the funsy, let's go chill and fuck around game mode of zombies and shit. Overdose is the most popular and very first Quarantine map when Quarantine was first released. The room host can choose between 5-round, 7-round, and 9-round Quarantine games. Basically, Quarantine Regen is a game of zombies versus humans. When the game first starts, it has a brief prep period to allow as many people to get ready as possible to start the first round with more people. Once the game initiates, the humans have 20 seconds to get ready while the game randomly chooses 2 or 3 players to become the host zombies. And during this brief prep period, players who are just joined the game can also manage to slip into and become part of the game. If you join a quarantine game that is past that brief prep period, then you must wait until the next round. These host zombies are much stronger and more durable than infected zombies, who are players that have been infected by host zombies or other infected zombies. The objective of the zombies is to infect all the humans before time runs out. Each round is about 2.5 minutes long, excluding the zombie selection period, or the host zombie selection period. The objective of the humans is to either survive or, without becoming infected the entirety of the round, or to hunt down the zombies and destroy them all. When becoming a zombie, your armor, specifically your vest, is indicative of how much health you start with. For example, if you have a medium vest, in other words, no vest at all, you start with 300 HP as a host zombie and 200 as a normal infected. If you have light or recon vest, you only start with 225 HP as a host and 150 as a normal infected. Basically, the less armor protection your vest provides, the less health you will start with as a zombie. The more armor your vest provides will mean basically more health that you will start with. Just as a note of trivia, Hauser, if he becomes host, will start with nearly 500 HP, quite a nuisance to take down. Zombies can only attack with their claws at melee range and have about the same range as the Bowie knife. Every time you attack, your zombie character will swipe twice, and it is an instant kill / infection on a human player. Humans bring whatever gear against the zombies they want, but by far explosives deal the most damage to zombies. Bullets will only deal a maximum of 2 damage per bullet, so obviously hosing zombies in lead is about as effective as trying to knife your teammate in the head when friendly fire isn't on. But if you know a zombie is low HP, you can attempt to shoot him down, and it is definitely possible to kill zombies that way. HP / KDR vision is quite useful in that respect. Melee weapons will also do substantial damage to zombies, and even the lowly default M9 knife can make short work of any zombie, provided that you have enough time and enough accuracy to even hit them. And because zombies can kill you instantly, only use melee weapons when there's an AFK zombie or you're all out of options and you don't give a flying fuck what happens to you. I will cover explosive damage to zombies in Quarantine in further detail in another video, but for now, just know that different explosives deal different amounts of damage. Obviously, the M69 HE grenade, or the super or the fat nades, deal more damage than the default M67 frag. Mines and hornets are also extremely effective as traps against zombies. Not surprisingly, flame is also very effective against zombies, but because people constantly bitch about how flame lags their computers, no one really uses them. Because Overdose was originally intended as a quarantine map, it features a few quirks that is not available in other maps. Although all maps that feature quarantine are altered in some way, Overdose is the most dynamic of them all. While other maps feature areas of access that weren't accessible in other game modes and blocked off areas, Overdose features two safe houses, office and elevator. Both these safe houses are opened at the 1 minute mark, and at that moment, humans can take refuge in these safe houses and lock the entrance to keep zombies out for a short time. The locked entrances have a set amount of HP that the zombies can reduce down to 0 to break open the glass doors at the office or the metal bars at the elevator to access the interior and infect the humans within. The more zombies attacking these barriers at once, the much faster they will fall. However, even if the zombies are able to break the locked entrances, they are rather tricky to enter, as the broken areas through which zombies must slip through may be rather frustrating to get into in the first place. If the zombies do make it inside the safe houses, however, the humans will have very little chance of surviving because essentially they have locked themselves in as well. So make sure, if you plan to stay in the safe houses for a while, pack enough explosives to tell the zombies to stay the hell away. Elite moderators cannot kick past 2 rounds before the game's over. Fireteam is the special humans vs NPC game mode that first came to Combat Arms with the ever so popular Desert Thunder map. Currently, there are 4 Fireteam missions, 2 with normal NPCs and 2 with zombie NPCs: Desert Thunder, Desert Fox, Cabin Fever, and Black Lung. All Fireteam games allow up to only 8 players and can only start with 4, and in Desert Thunder and Desert Fox, the human players must fight through waves of NPC humans that seem to have hacks that get increasingly worse with the difficulty level. These NPCs deal much less damage than do normal human weapons, and it is possible to tank a sniper rifle bullet to the head with 20 HP remaining. However, they can still kill you quite quickly. The NPCs are either two types, the normal grunts and the special elites. The grunts are much weaker and easier to kill than the elites, whereas the elites basically have human player models and can take the same amount of damage, or can take the same amount of time to kill as you would another human player in normal game modes. Regardless, all headshots are instant kills on NPCs. The zombie Fireteam missions are the ever popular Cabin Fever and the less than popular Black Lung. When Cabin Fever was first introduced, for 3 days after the patch introducing Combat Arms or Cabin Fever, there were literally no other games other than Cabin Fever, as people absolutely fucking loved it. It was a fun zombie mode to play with friends, and even though it may have taken a long time, it gave huge amounts of EXP and GP. Unlike Desert Thunder and Desert Fox, however, Cabin Fever and Black Lung's difficulties affect the zombies' HP and number of rounds each mission features. On normal, the normal zombies will have about 150 HP, and Cabin Fever and Black Lung will have 10 and 6 rounds respectively. One thing to note about normal difficulty is that it is for the first 9 rounds in Cabin Fever, you are able to one-shot headshot zombies with a G36E. On hard, the normal zombies will not die to one-shot headshots due to their significant increased GP, or HP rather, and Cabin Fever and Black Lung have 15 and 9 rounds respectively. On extreme, the normal zombies nearly have 300 HP, and Cabin Fever and Black Lung have 20 and 12 rounds total each. One thing to note about Cabin Fever and Black Lung is that there are 4 different zombie types that will come out to attack you. The normal zombies, the explosive zombies, the witches, or as I like to call them, the bitches, and the tanks. All zombies are melee fighters and have special attributes that they carry. The normal zombies are stronger than the explosive zombies in terms of HP and deal 5 damage with each attack, attacking twice for a total of 10 HP or 10 HP damage per attack. The explosive zombies deal the same damage as the normal zombies, but are much weaker in terms of overall HP. However, upon death, the explosive zombies, because they have TNT strapped around their chests, will explode, dealing anywhere from 1 up to 30 damage to nearby human players. There was also a time when explosive zombies could instant-kill human players by dealing headshots through their explosions, resulting in much raging from human players. Nexon has resolved this issue, for some reason the witches are now capable of one-shotting human players with the explosive balls they drop upon death. Yes, they do drop explosive balls. Good job, Trollexon. Speaking of the witches, they start to appear in around 4 in Cabin Fever and round 3 of Black Lung, and they are significantly harder to deal with than normal zombies. They have twice the HP as normal zombies, can deal 16 damage per attack, attacking twice for a total of 32 damage. Even if you hit them on the head, witches do not flinch at all, allowing you to constantly shoot the head through tap fire. Upon death, witches will drop 4 explosive balls that blow up after 3 or 4 seconds after being sent flying in any direction, and will deal extra damage anywhere from 1 to up to 100 damage if you're unlucky. Pretty much the only good thing about the witches is that they are relatively infrequent compared to the normal and explosive zombies, but there are lots of them that still show up, especially in later rounds. And finally, the blue huge tanks are the strongest and most uncommon zombies that appear. They deal a whopping 30 damage per hit, and seeing that they attack rapidly, they are the best zombies to go to and screw around with if you have a death wish. They also do not flinch even if you headshot them, so going for headshots on the tanks is the best and quickest way method to take them down. Any assault rifle's magazine, if all the bullets are headshots, will take down a tank in a single one. However, this is much easier than said than done. As for the maps themselves, I will discuss in much further detail in a subcategory of the Common Arms in-depth series. Seize and Secure is another objective game mode that slightly resembles Call of Duty's Domination and Blacklight Retribution's King of the Hill game modes. In the center of the map, a single flag stands, and the objective is to seize the flag and defend it from the enemy team to score points towards your overall score. The default time limit is 16 minutes, and your room may only start with 3 people ready on both sides, including the E-mod. To capture a flag, approach its small circular perimeter, press and hold the E key. This will cause the flag to glow and make a weird whooshing sound. While you are capturing, a bar will appear in the center of your HUD and will start to fill from left to right, and you are free to move around so long as you keep holding down the E key and stay within its capture area, but you cannot attack. If you are killed or if the capturing process is interrupted in any way, you must start the capture process over from the beginning. The flag will have numerous boxes and debris that you can use for a bit of cover, so if you are under fire, crouch behind these, because that debris just may save your life and allow you to finish your capture or your flag capture. Seize and Secure unfortunately resembles Capture the Flag and Spy Hunt in that it doesn't normally grant very much EXP or GP. This is one of the reasons why Seize and Secure is one of the least popular game modes in Combat Arms. Hired Guns is a relatively new game mode with only one map, Blood Money. This special game mode is the only game mode that allows you to exert control over non-controllable or non-playable characters, or in other words, NPCs, or as many people like to call them, bots. The objective of Blood Money is to penetrate the bank's central vault, steal the gold from within, and safely return the gold to the safe point in the middle of your spawn. Rounds end as soon as the 5-minute per round time limit expires or once all the gold has been stolen and or returned. Room hosts can only start with when 3 people are ready on each side, and they are also bound to the same rules of kicking as prevalent in other objective game modes. Hired Guns is technically an objective game mode, but almost always plays like elimination. Most people prefer to either camp in their spawns or spawn camp with sniper rifles if they're allowed and pick people off as they come around. The key aspect of Hired Guns is the NPCs factor. Everyone starts with 1,000 gold or credits at the beginning of the game. These are used to hire NPC characters that will follow you around, and you can give them orders to either hold position at a certain location or begin escorting you. To other players in the game, these NPCs will have the same IGNs as their buyers, or hirers, which is a good distraction in and of itself, as most people will not immediately recognize the NPCs from actual players. The NPCs are typically better the more credits you invest in them, so if you got loads of credits lying around like I usually do whenever I play Hired Guns, occasionally put some credits into the best NPCs you can get, because even if they are only bots, they can sometimes save your life, especially when you're doing gold run duties. Note that you can only hire these NPCs in your spawn, near the truck out of which the bots come out of. When you kill an enemy NPC, it will count towards your overall kill count in the game, but you will not receive any accolades for killing NPCs, and instead, they will only give you a 1 combo, 2 combo, etc. kind of deal as that is also seen in Fireteam. Since there is only one map available for hired guns at this present moment in time, I will explain the most important features of Blood Money, the only map currently available for hired guns. The map is extremely linear, each half of the map being exactly identical to the other. The only portion of the map that is not linear is the middle, directly in front of the bank. Cars and debris fill this space, useful for taking cover from explosives and sniper rifle fire, but do keep in mind that it is still pretty open to the said incoming attacks. Some of the vehicle's windows cannot be shot through, so take care as to knowing which ones they are. There are also indents in the far wall directly from the front of the bank that you can also take cover in if you are advancing on the enemy spawn to spawn trap them. There are two ways into the bank, the primary route and the secondary route. The primary route is to simply bum rush the front of the bank, and this is a much faster path to take to access the underground vault. But this is much more risky, or riskier, whatever you want to say, as flying enemy grenades are sure to bombard the middle of the map. The secondary route is much safer, as really the only two danger points are crossing the main road and entering the back alley, where enemies who are also accessing their own secondary routes can open fire on you from across the alley. The secondary routes are secured by a lock on the door, which you can unlock for the rest of the round by going up to the control panel and holding down the E button. It only takes a second or two, and the door will open immediately. However, upon opening, the game will flash a notice for all players, alerting that whichever spawn secondary routes have been opened. The interior of the bank is also symmetrical. There is a ground floor and a second floor, a flight of stairs tucked away in each of the corners of the bank that are closer to the main road. The bottom of these stairs both have windows that snipers can peer out of to spawn snipe people as they come out of their spawns. Go up the stairs and you have a clear view of the entire ground floor of the bank. On both sides of the ground floor, there are two entrances to the back storage corridors that lead from the secondary route doors. When accessing the vault, you must open the vault in the same way you open the secondary doors. It takes about 5 seconds for the main vault door to open, so make sure you have a few teammates with you to cover the vault as it opens. Once the door is open, you can rush inside to take as much gold as you want. You can take up to 10 gold bars without incurring any speed penalties, but once you take more than 10, each successive gold bar will begin to weigh you down by a 3% speed penalty each. The maximum speed penalty the game will impose on you is a negative 45%, but you can take as many gold bars as you want and the game will only impose upon you a negative 45% speed penalty. This means that theoretically speaking, you can carry all 80 gold bars in the vault, but by that time, by your 30th gold bar or so, you'd be moving so slow that it wouldn't be very practical at all because your enemies can just mow you down extremely easily. When you return the gold to your spawn, each gold bar will add another 100 points to your score. Hired Guns is a one game mode where playing the objective will reward you greatly, considering that each NPC or human kill you get while playing only gives you 100 points to your score. The incentive for running the objective is extremely high, or higher than that of other game modes. It is very easy for players who aren't necessarily the best slayers in the world to beat out even the best slayers in terms of overall score because of their gold running. Snowball Fight is the last game mode we will discuss today. This special game mode was only available for the winter season of 2008, during Combat Arms' first year of public beta. Due to its nature, it was only available on Snow Valley and Cold Seed. This is, to this day, the only game mode in Combat Arms' history where you did not have to bring your own weapons to the game. The game mode provided all the weapons for you. Snowball Fight behaves like Elimination in terms of how the game is played, but in reverse. Instead of working towards a total amount of kills earned to win the game, each team starts with a pool of 100 respawns, or some other number that the room moderator can adjust, that each team shares amongst its teammates. When this pool of respawns is exhausted, there are no more respawns, and once all the players on a team are eliminated, the other team wins. As stated previously, Snowball Fight gives you all the weapons you need. In your first slot, or your 1 key, you had your primary snowball gun, which fires ordinary snowballs that deal around 20 to 40 damage each, depending on how close they land near your enemy. They have a parabolic trajectory, just like the M79 grenade launcher or the M32, or whenever you just toss a regular nade, meaning that for enemies that are further away, you need to aim a little bit higher than they are to hit them. One thing about these snowballs is that they behave like miniature explosives, or in other words, you do not need to directly impact them with the snowballs. As long as they land near the enemy will be affected. Once the enemy's HP reaches 0 from the snowballs, or from whatever they are hit from, they will freeze, and a help sign will flash above their head to signal to their teammates that they need to be unfrozen. If anyone on the opposing team, whether it be the original freezer or a teammate of that freezer, smashes the frozen player with their shovel, which is the same model as a GI shovel, found in the 3 slot, the killed player will use up a respawn for their team. This is the only way to eliminate players in Snowball Fight. If you are left frozen for enough time, you will defrost by yourself automatically and can jump back into the action, though at a little bit less HP, like say 20 HP or so. If a teammate hits you with their shovel before an enemy can smash you, say that you are frozen, they will automatically defreeze you and will gain a rescue point added towards their final score in the scoreboard. And I believe you can also gain all your HP back. The second gun in your inventory is what I like to call the Blizzard gun, which shoots out a snowball that explodes into a cloud of ice, extremely similar in effects to the G7A gas grenade or the M23F incendiary grenade. Enemies that come in contact with the cloud of ice will steadily lose HP over time, freezing if the cloud deals enough damage. The game gives you 3 slots, or 3 shots rather, for the Blizzard gun, and they need to be reloaded. The last gun in your inventory is the ice grenade launcher, which is like the the Blizzard gun in that it has 3 snowballs to shoot, and also it needs to be reloaded per snowball, but the snowball behaves like an actual grenade and explodes, dealing much upfront damage and is able to easily freeze any enemy, but only if they are within its blast radius. After the winter season of 2008 to 2009, Nexon took off Snowball Fight. Snowball Fight, unfortunately and sadly, has yet to make its return to Combat Arms. Personally, I would like to see it return, as it was quite the enjoyable game type. It would definitely add to the diversity and depth of the Combat Arms experience, and would add to the nostalgia and the kind of the old feeling of Combat Arms. Now to briefly mention the arms restrictions, as they are always part of your game modifying options, except for Fireteam and Quarantine. With the exceptions of those 2 game modes, there are arms restrictions that go as follows: all permitted, no explosives, pistols only, shotguns only, no shotguns, snipers only, no snipers, and no backpack. If you have the NX item Super Elite Moderator, you are able to impose any combination of the 2 arms restrictions as you wish. Well guys, this will conclude the second part to the second episode of Combat Arms In Depth. We have just covered the rest of the game modes and types and the arms restrictions that come as options with every game you play. In the next episode, I will actually be combining 2 series together for one video, a review and an in-depth episode on the heartbeat sensor and detector. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode on those 2 equipments. ゆっくりしてってね。